Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited here today with Jeremy Schroeder because he's going to teach us the 5 steps of developing a DX strategy, digital transformation strategy. And that's really a weird thing to start, Jeremy, like what actually is the problem here? Why do you feel that strategy or direction is really key and important for actually set everything for success?
Well, thanks, Danish. I think the main thing is that people don't really know what digital transformation means. And so without that understanding of it and having somebody that can help you guide you through that process, it makes it really, really hard. From a digital, so to me, that's why you would want to bring on someone who has done that in the past, who have worked with other people and have done that not only in their professional lives for companies that they may have worked for, but also assisting other people with their problems and challenges that they may have. To me, I know that we've pulled a number of people, and the biggest challenge, I think, from a digital transformation strategy are people that there really is a lack of clear direction. Right. And so, not knowing where to go and really how do you get there is one of the biggest challenging things that people will have.
So before the direction, many times I feel that it's this digital transformation can be a little mumbo jumbo kind of thing. Is what that means: artificial intelligence and machine learning and drones and it's. But I'm an everyday, some, marketing agency or whoever, like a small company. What is it for me? What the digital transformation means to a small business?
Yeah, and that is the challenging thing is there's so much terminology out there. There's so many words of the day, phrases of the day, what people are trying and what they're trying to do. So what we like to do is we actually have a process called the digital maturity assessment that really helps you identify the areas where you can make some major changes. For me, going through the digital maturity assessment process has been amazing. I've done that with dozens of companies already. And what it does is it creates these amazing opportunities and conversations that they might not even think of are challenges, but it helps to pinpoint and then helps to bring those to light and bring those to the surface because they might not have thought of that in the past.
It's good. And how this assessment looks like? So what you guys are doing to get this direction? Because it seems to be that it seems to be a straightforward process, might be, but my question is like every client and every company is different.
Yeah. So for us, when we go through a digital maturity assessment, the way we see that is there's an operating model or a model of digital maturity. And there are 6 main components, all wrapped around your digital strategy or your digital vision. And the main components there are your people, what are your processes, and what are your platforms, in addition to what are your what are the applications you're using. What is the risk that you're willing to assume? And then what type of information you're using. So what you can do is, for us, it's been very beneficial. It's about an hour-long process. We're able to really dig in and ask some really thought-provoking questions and make amazing statements of, is this something we're currently doing, or is this something that we would like to become? Additionally, the biggest thing I feel is important there is really help to determine is if you are in that current state or being able to do that, is that truly a strategic advantage? Does that set you apart? What is that value proposition that you can give to your clients that other people might not be doing, that your competitors might not be able to do?
That's really cool. And basically, what's the main benefit of this assessment for a client? What tangible results they can see after this session?
We will typically come up with 4 to 5 different areas where there are the main challenges. We identify dozens of challenges. going through this assessment, but as a digital advisor, we are looking to identify what are the main 3 or 4, because we all know we can't do every single thing at a time, right? For many of our small business owners that we work with, likely, they've been around for a while and they've been very successful, but I know that they will tell us that they haven't been able to do every single thing at once in order to get there. Many times they might have been working on 10, 15 years, right, to create this legacy, to create this product, to create this company and organization. And they hadn't done everything at once. They might have taken on one thing over 6 months, or one thing over a year, or this is my focus, that is my focus, going from different challenges to next. And really, that's what it's all about. When you're a small business owner, it's solving the most important challenges to help you succeed.
That's really cool. So that's the first step, is the assessment of the 5. What, anything to share with this assessment part? Or we can move to the next?
I think the assessment really helps us as advisors to focus in on what truly is your challenges right now and how we can help you from a transformational perspective. And I just love them because my brain is going at 100 miles an hour all the time and just writing down frantically all of these different ways that we can help you. One of my whys in life is really when someone can come to me and say, you know what you just did really helped change my life. It helped change everybody else's life around me. And especially at Imagine IT, what we try to do is expand the circle of happiness. And that's truly at the core of everything we try to do with our partners.
It's really interesting because when you have this complete assessment, I guess is really like a lot of stuff going on with the clients get aligned, and they get arguments and definitions of things, and probably failures from the past and success from the past, and that somehow leads us to the second part, which is you call the vision. And how do you feel this is connecting from the assessment, and why a vision actually is needed?
Yeah, and a lot of what we're looking at is many transformation efforts fail because there really is a lack of planning and alignment. And what we try to do with our digital transformation planning engagement is help to understand what the company's vision and core strategies and who they are, and then tie that vision and strategy, their digital transformation plan, to actual business outcomes. And the key thing there is what's really going to help make them create this value proposition. Why is their product better than what their competition is? And how can they help their team members, their employees, do things quicker, faster, cheaper, and be more effective in serving their clients?
It's really interesting because basically you are stepping through like how they are serving their clients, how they are being more productive, or how they are generating more return on their digital transformation projects, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And my favorite part, and I will actually say my favorite part of the digital transformation planning engagement, is the digital vision exercise. It's amazing to really understand and know, as you go through that, you state who you are, right? Mm-hmm. Who you are, and where do you want to go, and where do you want to be, right? So you have this beginning state and you have this ending state. The problem is that, as we all know, you just can't get there from that perspective. So you have to create a vision. So how are things going to change? How is your client experience going to change? How is your employee experience going to change? What are you going to change from a process? How are you going to transform what you do today to be able to serve your clients better, to get to that end state, which ultimately is going to serve the results of what you want to do and what the core purpose is of why you exist. And a lot of times it's not necessarily about making more money. It really is about what impact you can make on your partners and your clients.
That's really cool. And usually these type of visions are kind of vague and high level, but how you help the people to actually get some sort of direction after getting the direction, how actually see some sort of stepping stones together? How what you do after the vision?
Yeah, I think typically when you do create this vision, so you know where you are and you know where you want to get there, but in many times you need to have a strategy, right? And so I like to use an analogy of a vacation, right? And so if we were going to do a planning engagement, think about what you would do when you're going to go on a vacation, right? So your vision is going to be based on your past experiences, right? And so who you are, what you like to do. Do you like to be active when you go on a vacation, or do you like to be more complacent? Do you like to sit around and hang out? Do you like to visit with family? Do you like to visit with friends? Or do you kind of like to do things on your own? But you're doing that, drawing that on past experiences and creating what you enjoy and what you want to do. So you're creating this ultimate ideal, but you have to see what you want to do before you go on vacation, right? And so what you're going to do is you kind of in the back of your head know what you like, right? But when it comes after that, then you need to have some type of strategy, right? And so for me, the strategy is what are the steps that you need to take, or what are your ultimate goals of that particular vacation or that particular transformation, right? But what you need to do is you can't necessarily do everything. You can't do 10 things at a time, right? So what you want to do is you want to wrap them up into strategic themes and prioritize them, right? What is the most important? So as we look at all of our challenges and as we look at where we want to go on our vacation, what's the most important? What's going to give me the greatest impact? So be able to combine those together and say, okay, if I go, this is what I want to do. This is the most important. This is the second most important. This is the third most important. So for me, having that vision of where you want to go, but then understanding what are those different subcomponents of how to get there or when you're there.
That's really interesting. And basically, after you have the strategy map, which is basically the biggest milestones or steps or toward the vision, that might be still like bigger blocks. You call them themes, and how you break down that further to get really like something more actionable or where people can plan activities.
Yeah, that's a great question. And as I've stated before, you can't do everything all at once at all the time. And so based on those priorities, what you need to do is you need to map out how you're going to get there, right? So if this is the most important thing that I need to do, and it might take me 2 to 3 months, or on in the vacation analogy, it may take me 2 or 3 different days, right? So then I would create this roadmap or a map to help me get there or know what I'm going to do when I'm there, because otherwise it's wasted time. So I need to be able to establish a pattern of how I'm going to go from this strategy to this other strategy to this other strategy. And in many cases, even based on prioritization, it might make sense for others to flow differently. So as you're putting these in a visual perspective, as you're putting them on a roadmap or some type of map, it might make sense to prioritize one over the other in order to help you get to where you want to go faster, right? And so we will typically create a roadmap that's 12 to 18 months out with 3 to 4 major strategic themes. Now there might be some sub themes within the strategies, but in overall, it provides you with this picture of how you're going to get there, so that as you're explaining that to the other people in your company, right? So when you bring these new initiatives, it helps you create a direction so that they understand why they're doing this, right? So, and I know we haven't necessarily talked a lot about change management, but having that roadmap and having that vision and being able to help share that with everybody else, that helps it gain alignment throughout the entire company.
That's pretty cool. So basically, I understand that we started with an assessment, which gave us like some alignment among the team that helps us to create the vision, which is the second step. The vision created more as a direction where we want to go. The third component created like a strategy map, which is basically where we are from the assessment, where we want to be. That's basically connecting the two. And then we created like a more granular roadmap of how the different themes, strategic themes, are going to be executed. So that was the 4. And that's kind of funny because that's always like, don't get me wrong, it's like, play with papers, and I can do an awesome business. I can do Facebook in Excel, right? I mean, I can put together the plan, and that's gonna be millions of users. But how you guys are actually turn these things into reality? Because I think that's what matters. Like, if you have a direction and you can give the direction for these, fictitious, media company or somebody, how are you gonna make sure that actually they can execute the plan?
Yeah, that's a great statement, because yes, you might have a roadmap, but you need to ensure and you need to create accountability. And what I feel creates that accountability is an execution plan. And really what the execution plan is, it's a measurement for success. How do you know that this roadmap you've created, how do you know that you're still on the right area, or you're still going in the right direction, right? And so we've talked about this in the past. The lack of clear direction is the biggest thing that's inhibiting our digital transformation changes, right? So how do you keep on that road, right? It's almost like you need a GPS that's going to keep you going in the right direction. So as you create these measurements of success, you need to create a team. Who's responsible for this, right? And what's the cadence? How often are you going to meet? Are you going to meet weekly? Are you going to meet monthly? Are you going to meet quarterly? Are you going to have a yearly check-in to ensure that you're moving in the right direction, right? But how do we know that we're going in the right, how do we know that we're attaining that? And to me, that's creating scorecard. What are the measurements, right? So a lot of times people can say, hey, how's this project going? And people say, yeah, we're going okay, or no, we're not going okay. They give these real ambiguous statements, or these real ambiguous answers. What we try to do is we create metrics. So we look at hard numbers to ensure that things are moving in the right direction. Because in many cases, these transformation strategies, or these transformation engagements that we're going through, you're investing. You're not only investing time, but you're also investing a lot of money, and you want to make sure that you get a return on that. So we call that the return on digital transformation. And that's something as a digital advisor that we look strongly at to ensure that this time and money that we're investing in this process or investing in this change actually is happening. And the way that we do that is create a clear understanding of, if we invest this much, this is going to be the return. We're going to get a return back in a month, we're going to get a return back in 6 months, or you know what, we're going to double this investment in a year. It's those types of things that we want to do, because in a majority of time, as a small business owner, you're making those decisions on a daily basis, right? You have to invest your time in something. What's the return? We try to do that same thing with the execution plan.
It's really good, Jeremy. And if I can ask a question, because I think there is as you said, it's one big problem is that the lack of direction, but the alignment of what digital transformation means. And I see that it's really demystified. If you would have an elevator pitch to me that why I should invest on digital transformation, why every company is really an important part, even small companies, what would you say to them? What is at stake here, and why this is important, and what that really means in a practical terms?
Yeah. To me, if you're not transforming, if you're not changing, your competitor is. And in many times they're changing for the better. And that's going to be, and is that going to really help you be relevant in today's marketplace? So I see transformation as a journey. It's a never-ending process, right? So you know where you may want to go, right? But it's not necessarily getting there that's the key thing. It's that path to get there. But the only way that you can do that is to change. And if you're not changing, someone else is. and they're going to take your market share.
Wow, that's pretty high stake thing. And if I would, again, we are on the second elevator now, and I would like to ask you how actually it can be happen. What's this 5-step in a nutshell, and why this 5-step is actually helping on the finding the direction and finding the way that it's actually executable? What would you say?
Yeah, as a small business owner or as a business owner, there are many things that you need to decide, right? And so if you are having an accounting issue, you're going to go to your accountant, right? If you're having a legal issue or a legal challenge or a legal question, you're going to go to your lawyer. For me, this digital transformation process, why not involve an expert, and why not bring in somebody who has done that, who has gone through this process, that can go through this 5-step digital transformation process and make it easy, right? They're your guide. They're there to help you. They're there to ask you the right questions at the right time and do the right things in the right order. And it really helps demystify this. How do I transform? What is this digital transformation? Bring in somebody else that can help you with that. And in many cases, digital transformation, there might not be a single example of it. That's really up to you, is how you want to transform. What is it about your company? What is your value proposition? What is it that makes your company special? And you can really tailor that transformation around what your visions and what your goals are. And that's what I love about the digital transformation planning process, is it's uniquely tailored to your challenges. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It's your challenges and how you can better serve your clients.
Oh, that's pretty good. Thanks, Jeremy. And guys, if you are listening this, you always you can access the digital transformation assessment. You can sign up, and we are building up a benchmark. So that's great insight. Thanks for the chat, Jeremy. That was awesome, and it really gave me this kind of confidence that, like, I always kind of like processes. We want to achieve something, it's much easier to follow like a framework, because now we kind of not going sideways all the time. And I feel that this is really giving us some sort of really nice direction. Jeremy, thanks for your wisdom today. And yeah, thanks for the chat.
Thank you.